Trooper A1, The Purple Blitzkrieg by Gabrielle Marie Kozak. Book 1 of the Trooper series. Narrated by the author. Chapter 4. It's gonna storm tonight, Mora noted to break the awkward silence between the two siblings, glancing up at the gray skies. Something like a big storm. Her steps were purposeful. Connor, by dint of hurrying, was only slightly behind. Mom said it's gonna blow us some cold days, Connor supplied tentatively, and shivered. What I like best about cold days is when you go outside and stand in the sun and you're freezing your face off and the sun is nice and warm at the same time, Mora grinned. You should try it. As in, not wear so much you don't even know the sun is shining. But Mom doesn't want me burning myself, Connor muttered, feeling his heart rate speed up as he tried to keep even with Mora, who was unconsciously quickening her steps. A few minutes won't burn, Mora returned dismissively, with the air of one who'd done it many times. Connor merely shrugged. I'll live without it. Besides, there's a heater inside, and a fireplace. You should eat more, and the wind won't blow through you like it does. You aren't going to get stronger if you stay inside all day, Mora scolded. Just leave it, Connor replied, somewhat sharply. The rest of his remark never left the tip of his tongue. I'm not going to get stronger. He and his sister fell silent. Later. It's even colder in here than outside, Connor muttered the next evening, walking into the Italian restaurant with Mora and his parents. He tucked his arms into his sleeves and shivered. Mora was already going through the second door and scanning the line, waiting to be seated for their relatives. It didn't take her long to find them, Stephen and Martha Smith, and the cousins, 18-year-old Percy, 14-year-old Mark, and 7-year-old Lila. Hey guys, she called as loudly as she dared in the public building. It wasn't too long before they were all seated and facing the difficult choice of what to have for dinner. Victoria White, her husband Adrian, and the cousins' parents were soon engaged in pleasant adult talk. Connor glanced over the menu once, then apparently gave up to pull his legs onto his chair and curl up into a ball to conserve body heat. Percy, after a few minutes of interjecting various comments into the adult conversation, gave up and started doing something with his phone underneath the table. Mark stared at Connor for a bit, then shrugged and watched Percy. And Mora's attention was immediately grabbed by Lila, who wanted to give her older cousin the somewhat tedious history of the princess dress she was wearing. It didn't take Mora long to grow bored of that, and soon she was wishing Connor would come out of his cocoon and talk to the cousins. Sighing discreetly, she fell into a custom of nodding her head at whatever Lila said and not really replying. She wished she had her phone, but it and Connor's were in their mother's purse, and she didn't really feel like bothering her about it. So she stared at her menu, and suddenly it clicked that she should be thinking about what to order. None of the names popped out at her, so she decided she'd fly by Alfredo like she always did. Connor was sitting next to her, and she tapped his shoulder with the menu. Hey, she whispered. Wake up. I'm awake, came a muffled, sleepy voice from the depths of the hoodie. Mora hit him over the head with the menu this time. Come on, sit up. You'll get a bad back. Sighing, Connor lifted his head, keeping his hood on. It was probably a good thing, because his hair was all rumpled and a mess. Percy slipped his phone into his pants pocket and looked up, much to Mark's disappointment. Hey, bro, sup? He asked Connor. School, Connor returned. You? College is great, Percy told him. Are you still at the top of your class? In everything except computer science, Mora answered for her twin, eagerly. I'm beating him in that. Percy laughed. Naturally, he returned. That's you all over. Mora flushed. She had to fix our teacher's computer the other day, Connor put in. You shouldn't have gotten her that coding book for Christmas. Next thing we know, she'll be hacking our school laptops. Huh! Mora laughed scornfully. Watch yourself, Percy warned laughingly. Those things have a self-destruct option, you know. They do not, Mora insisted. Our teacher said they didn't. Oh, you asked? Mark scoffed. The conversation was interrupted by a waitress walking up to the table. She looked quite Italian, and funny, too. Talking quickly and enthusiastically while waving her hands around, she demanded what they all wanted to order. Benvenuto! She exclaimed. So what do you want to eat, eh? She flourished her notebook so vehemently that Percy, who was sitting the closest, ducked instinctively. Past. It's my birthday, Lila interrupted calmly. Oh, congratulazioni, the waitress breathed, her eyes sparkling with interest. How old are you, Bella? She demanded instantly. 7, the young lady replied gravely. How exciting! Another wide sweep of the notebook. Anyway, my name's Giulia Pervitito, she finished, racing through the beginning of her sentence and stuttering over the T's in her name, and I'll be getting you your dinner.